I do like stabbing.
Wednesday Addams' evolution from macabre sidekick to Gothic icon. For over 85 years, Wednesday Addams has been one of pop culture's most quietly powerful figures, an ever-evolving symbol of dark humor, outsider identity, and rebellion against the mainstream. From her roots in newspaper cartoons to her breakout Netflix show, Wednesday has transformed dramatically while maintaining the essence that made her compelling in the first place. This is the evolution of Wednesday Addams, from a quiet, morbid girl to a modern Gothic heroine. 1938, The Silent Shadow, Wednesday in Charles Addams cartoons. Wednesday Addams began her life in 1938 as part of Charles Addams' single-panel cartoons in The New Yorker. At this stage, she didn't have a name or a backstory. In fact, none of the Addams family members did. She was simply the little girl in a family of macabre eccentrics, often seen holding a doll or participating in a vaguely sinister activity. Her personality wasn't fleshed out. Instead, her creepy cute energy came through in quiet visuals. Dressed in a dark frock with a solemn expression, she served as a backdrop to gags about morbid domestic life. The tone was subtle, understated, and often ironic. It wasn't until much later that her name, Wednesday, was coined, borrowed from the old nursery rhyme, "Wednesday's child is full of woe."
Antoinette, Grandmama told us about the French Revolution and Paxley chopped off her head.
1964, A Name and a Face, Lisa Loring in the original TV series. The first real incarnation of Wednesday Addams as a character came in the 1964 live-action The Addams Family TV series. Played by Lisa Loring, this Wednesday was sweet, wide-eyed, and far more traditionally childlike than later versions. Still, she kept her love for all things dark and spooky. In this version, Wednesday loved raising spiders, owning headless dolls, and playing with crossbows. However, her demeanor was generally upbeat and innocent. The show leaned into comedy rather than horror, and Wednesday's creepiness was played for laughs, not fear. This portrayal helped humanize the character, while making her accessible to mainstream audiences in the 1960s. She wasn't malevolent, just morbidly curious, with a dash of dark charm. 1973 and 1992, the animated era. Wednesday made her first animated appearance in the 1973 Hanna-Barbera cartoon The Addams Family. Here, she was voiced by Cindy Henderson and portrayed as cheerful, mischievous, and curious. The show was created for a younger audience, so most of Wednesday's darker edges were sanded down. She still enjoyed creepy things, but only in a G-rated way. In 1992, a new animated series was released, this time staying more faithful to the 1991 films. Voiced by Debbie Derryberry, this version of Wednesday brought back more of her deadpan delivery and gothic edge, though still within the confines of a kid-friendly cartoon. She had her intelligence, her sharp wit, and a deep bond with her brother Pugsley, but was never shown doing anything truly dangerous. These animated versions helped introduce Wednesday to a new generation, especially those too young for the more sinister live-action portrayals.
Don't be a baby. I know what I'm doing.
1991 and 1993, Christina Ricci redefines Wednesday. Wednesday Addams' true breakout moment came with the 1991 film The Addams Family and its 1993 sequel Addams Family Values, where she was portrayed by Christina Ricci. This was the moment the character evolved from background oddball to cult icon. Ricci's Wednesday was smart, sarcastic, fiercely independent, and unapologetically macabre. She spoke with a deadpan delivery that made even the darkest lines hilarious. She didn't just enjoy creepy things, she actively terrorized others, especially when forced into normal social settings like summer camp. Key to her popularity was her confidence. Unlike previous versions, Ricci's Wednesday didn't tone down her personality to fit in. She embraced her darkness, often using it as a weapon against conformist adults and peers. This version of Wednesday became a role model for kids and teens who felt like outsiders. Her look also became iconic: long black braids, pale skin, a black dress with a white collar, and an expression of total disinterest. It's the Wednesday that most people think of when they hear her name.
Let's make some memories.
2019 and 2021, the modern animated films. In the 2019 and 2021 animated films, The Addams Family and Addams Family 2, Wednesday was reimagined again, this time voiced by Chloe Grace Moretz. These films aimed for a family-friendly tone, making Wednesday slightly more emotionally open while still retaining her dark humor. What stood out in this version was the conflict between her desire for independence and her connection to her family. The sequels even explored a potential identity crisis, where Wednesday believes she might not be a true Addams by blood. While these films didn't revolutionize the character, they showed her adapting to modern themes, self-identity, belonging, and personal agency. She's still an oddball, but now she's navigating emotional complexity alongside the usual spooky antics.
Wednesday Addams. It is an honor to meet the savior of Nevermore.
2022. Jenna Ortega's groundbreaking Wednesday on Netflix. The most significant evolution of Wednesday Addams to date came with the 2022 Netflix series Wednesday, created by Alfred Goff and Miles Miller and executive produced by Tim Burton. Played by Jenna Ortega, this version of Wednesday is the most complex, independent, and psychologically rich portrayal yet. Set in the supernatural boarding school Nevermore Academy, the series focuses entirely on Wednesday as the lead character. No longer a sidekick, she becomes a teen detective of sorts, solving murders, dealing with visions, exploring her psychic powers, and even confronting emotional trauma. Jenna Ortega's portrayal is icily intelligent, emotionally guarded, and unrelentingly sarcastic. She rejects social norms, challenges authority, and embraces her identity fully, while still showing growth and vulnerability. Her deadpan humor remains intact, but now it's laced with pain, ambition, and empathy, just well hidden. Another major update was her visual style. Ortega's Wednesday keeps the traditional monochrome look, but updates it with modern goth fashion, layered textures, tailored blazers, and muted tones. She also breaks tradition by playing cello, fencing, and exploring romantic tension with peers, showing that Wednesday can evolve without losing her soul. The show struck a chord with Gen Z and beyond, becoming one of the most-watched Netflix series of all time. Ortega's viral dance scene to the Cramps' Goo Goo Muck became an internet sensation and sparked a massive cultural revival of the character.
The part where you believe that cramming hundreds of people into a metal tube flying through the air creates some sort of utopia.
From background figure to feminist symbol, what makes Wednesday Addams so enduring is how adaptable she is. Her core traits, morbid curiosity, intelligence, emotional resilience, remain constant, but every generation shapes her into something relevant to the times. 1960s Wednesday was a quirky child reflecting post-war suburbanism's fear of the strange. 1990s Wednesday was a Gen X anti-hero, rebelling against conformity with cutting sarcasm. 2020's Wednesday is a self-aware, emotionally layered individual who owns her darkness and uses it as power. She's not just a goth girl. She's a mirror of cultural anxieties, about identity, about family, about authenticity. And unlike most characters that get softer over time, Wednesday has only grown sharper, stranger, and more confident in her own skin. The power of being unapologetically different. We like Wednesday Addams because she represents fearless individuality in a world that constantly pressures people to conform. She's unapologetically different, intelligent, sarcastic, emotionally restrained, and unafraid to challenge authority. While most female characters are written to be likable or soft, Wednesday defies that expectation. She embraces her darkness, but not in a way that's evil, just honest. She doesn't hide her weirdness or try to tone herself down to fit in. Instead, she leans into it, turning her quirks into strength. That confidence is magnetic. At the same time, Wednesday reflects what many people, especially teenagers, feel but rarely express: discomfort with fake social norms, frustration with being misunderstood, and a deep desire to be authentic. She's not interested in pleasing others or chasing popularity, and that makes her a refreshing role model in an image-obsessed culture. Through her wit and intensity, she gives people permission to be strange, smart, and strong without apology. We don't just like Wednesday because she's cool or funny. We like her because she tells the truth about how weird, lonely, and powerful it can feel to be different. And she shows us that being different doesn't make you broken. It might just make you iconic. Conclusion: why Wednesday endures. Wednesday Addams has lived many lives: unnamed cartoon child, sweet 60s daughter, sadistic 90s queen, and now introspective Gen Z icon. Each iteration added a layer of complexity without discarding the core: a girl who sees the world differently and refuses to apologize for it. Her evolution is not just about aesthetics or storytelling, it's about resilience, In every form, Wednesday represents the quiet strength of outsiders, the power of intelligence over popularity, and the beauty in what others fear. And in that sense, Wednesday will never really change. She'll only continue to grow darker, bolder, and more unforgettable.